What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into the NBA action Wednesday, October 30th. I'm going to break down each and every game, give you guys my rundown, what I'm looking at. We're going to go through the card together, and I have a couple props I like, especially in terms of a couple of the bigger games, as well as we'll look at some of the inactives and injury reports for this evening's contest. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We are doing it right now. It is the sports equinox. We got hockey, NBA, Major League Baseball, as well as college football, NFL. It's absolutely insane what we have going running right now on the channel. There will be a lot more NBA content as baseball season's over, and we do get kind of segue into more of a regular schedule with midweek football. So hopefully you guys understand. If you haven't done so, though, make sure you all like, comment, and subscribe, like I said, and turn on that notification bell. That way, when we do ramp up the NBA stuff, you guys don't miss a beat what we have going down on the channel. And please understand that the Discord, Twitter, and YouTube, all free to actually do a subscribe. Think of it as a follow. Okay. So appreciate you guys doing that if you can. And let's get into the picks. Okay. So this is where we're going to dive into the first game where we look into that I really do like. Okay. And we're going to break this down from a Nicholas Batum. And this is actually the last game on the card, but I am going to talk about it first. This is the Portland Trailblazers hosting the Clippers hosting the Portland Trailblazers. Now, one thing about this game is the Trailblazers are fifth getting against guards, basically defensively. I'm going to pull this up. We are seeing blowout potential. The Clippers have been that team. We had them on a money line. Getting 10. We've been calling the Clippers in some tight spots, getting points. But this is a game where I think the Trailblazers really are that bad. Okay, look at their statistics offensively, pretty much dead last. And then we look at them on the defensive end of the court. Pretty much anything about, except for guarding three-pointers, they actually are atrocious as well. The big thing for us right now in this game, though, is we are going to be diving into the likes of Nicholas Batum. Okay, I think there's some value here. I do think that he's going to get a lot of run in that backup unit. As a veteran here in this later game. Okay, this is where we have Nicholas Batum not starting. Okay, so we do get a game where I think that is going to get a little bit more run. I think that you do have the potential for some rest as well. But I think that Nicholas Batum in this spot over 1.5 assists. This is a great bet in my opinion. This is cashed a lot. If you look back in 2023, which albeit he did have a lot more run. Okay, this is cashing at a extreme rate. Very seldom do we get a 0 or a 1 performance. And in 2024, he has hit this number in the first 3 games of the season. So currently 100%. I know it's a tight number. It's over 1.5, but I think there's some value there that we'd get possibly 2, 3, or 4 because the Portland Trailblazers, one thing about them is they are in the bottom half of the NBA in allowing assists. And that's kind of where you look at them against a small forward, shooting guard, whatever you want to call him, Nicholas Batum. Overall 21st in allowing assists at the position. So that will be my best bet for that first game. Okay, next, let's get back into it. And we are going to start at the top. I can't believe I kind of screwed up my order a little bit. But the Hawks Wizards, this is a lean towards Atlanta. That is the side that I'd be on the Atlanta money line. Minus 186 is something that I'm not looking to get in bed with, though. And that would be my best bet in that matchup. And then the primetime Lakers Cavaliers. Okay, great showdown. We have some questionable statuses for the Lakers here in this spot. As well as some people that have been out for Cleveland. So I'm not too concerned about that. Max Strus, be nice to get him back into the fold. Have seen this number tick up from 4.5 to 5. D'Angelo Russell, probably not on that game time decision status. Vanderbilt and Christian Wood still remain out, as well as Austin Reeves. Most likely going to suit up, but this is something where the Cavs at home, 4-0 on the season, 4-0 against the spread. Okay. And albeit the Lakers are 3-1, 3-1 against the spread and overall. This is a game set up where LeBron's coming back to Cleveland. A little bit more juice in the environment. It's going to be a sold-out crowd. The Browns stink, so the fans are going to be riling up. There's no more Guardians baseball, Indians baseball. So I will tell you that Cleveland here -5 would be very enticing. I really like them, what they're able to do and clamp down with this new Kenny Atkinson-looking ball club, especially with that comeback victory against the Knicks, showing some sack, if you will, where they look to get back into that contest, and they ended up coming out with a victory. So I do like the Cavaliers here -5. It's a big number for me to lay. We're going to look into it in terms of props, though. I think this is one that comes down to a couple players here that I'm a key in on. The first being Donovan Mitchell, over 24.5 points. The Lakers against point guards, whatever you want to call it. 25th, bottom half, bottom tier. I see Donovan kind of amping up for this game. Do not be shocked if he gets into the 30s. It's just, and it's also, it is the LeBron game, but guys, it's a midweek game with LeBron. Anything's possible. He could rest, he could sit down. Who knows what he can do? It's early on in the season. I'm always off the LeBron numbers this early, and if it wasn't against Cleveland, I always would look into the under PRA for LeBron for the first 10 games, and that's kind of where we're still in that window where that's extremely profitable throughout the course of his season. But I am going to go with this Cavaliers team, and I'm going to back them in terms of props. Okay. So I do like the Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points. You can see that's been very profitable, as well as we're going to dive into the Jared Allen, if I can get there. For some reason, it's not letting me go back in time. Okay, 1 second. Jared Allen, we're going to go over the points and rebounds for him. He's hit this in his last 3 games, 28, 28, and 30, going against a big man kind of dominant team, but it's still kind of that forward plus position, right? I don't really consider Anthony Davis a center. I don't consider LeBron James a point guard, but by the book, he's going to be listed there as a 3, as a small forward. He plays more like a power forward or point guard at times. So it's all relative, but I do think that we do get more run out of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Big games out of those guys. I think they're going to kind of tag team that block. And if we do look at the head to head that we had against the Lakers. This is going back to last season. He did have 35, 14, and 21, a big game, and albeit coming one shy against the Lakers back in April, where he had 12 and 12. So 24.5, a number I'm fine with. Let's back it. I'm going to back the Jared Allen over points and rebounds in this spot. Okay. But that's where I'm at. I love the Cavs, but I'm not willing to lay that -5 quite yet. Okay. Celtics and the Pacers. Pacers bottom 5 in pretty much every defensive category, especially against the guard position, which I think Boston's going to really show out tonight. -7.5, laying a number on the road against Eastern Conference foe has been very profitable historically for Boston in this little 2-year run that we're having. Look at the betting splits. There hasn't really been anything decisive in any of these games yet. But for me, guys, this is going to be a Boston over team total. If I had to bet it, and a Boston, I would lay the 7.5 there with the Celtics. Okay, next game is Pistons 76ers. Staying away from this one. Okay, this is a Cunningham Maxey game. It's going to be a back and forth game. 216.5 is kind of looking like right there on the number. We do want to talk about it a little bit because we do get still Embiid and George out. You can see this right down below. But for me, guys, this is going to be a spot where just don't really like the too much action on the Embiid-less 76ers. It's scary out there, but I do think Philly is the right side to be on -3.5. Probably would actually lend towards the over in this conversation. For me, in these overs early on, there's not enough numbers. I want to see more pace of play metrics. Let's see what kind of pace the Pistons and 76ers are playing with, and that would lead you to where you're at. But I think the better side would be the 76ers -3.5 if I was going to bet this game. All right, next one out is Toronto and Charlotte. I do love me some Toronto Raptors money line right here at +230. Look at them against the Hornets. The Hornets on the season, if we want to really talk about it, and we're not going to spend too much time because they are the Hornets, but we look at Toronto and Charlotte in this spot. I think this is going to be a closer game. We've seen the total drop from 227 down to 222 now, and the Charlotte Hornets, albeit due to some injury concerns, have become a 4-point favorite all the way up to a 6.5-point favorite. All right. And I just don't agree with the line move. I know it's a sharper move, and you're going to be on board with it probably. But for me, it's just too much value on Toronto. It's because Scotty Barnes, Olenek, we have Brown will be out, and quickly is going to be a game time decision as well. On the other side, though, we do get Brandon Miller still out for Charlotte, Daquan Jeffries, and Mark Williams. So who knows? Who knows? I just think this is a bad Charlotte team. They don't play a lick of defense. You look at them by the numbers. I think a Raptors team has the potential here to really scoop up this money line here. So This will be kind of a very small play if I was going to make one, but give me some value with the Toronto Raptors, and let's take them there on the money line, plus 230. Okay. We look at something as well. I am going to kind of pull up this in terms of head to head when you look at these matchups. And I know that the rosters are different, but each one of these contests, I mean, guys, it's pretty much a three out of four games. The Raptors took care of business, dating back to their last four. And it's kind of a weird kind of number though. Toronto is 2-23 as an underdog. So just saying I like the 230. I'm not saying it's a best bet, but I'm saying that's where the value is for this game. Okay. Knicks Heat. This is one of my favorite plays of the day. We are going to be all over the New York Knicks in a minus 125 on the money line. This is my best play against the spread, where I'll be backing the New York Knicks minus 125 in the spot. Okay. No real explanation needed. I'm kind of off the Heat, quite frankly. And I think that the Knicks are going to start to show some life here. Karl Anthony Towns coming back into his own. It's a new look. They don't have DiVincenzo. I think it's an adjustment period. And if you saw the Knicks, they were able to come out and take care of business against Cleveland, and they are kind of zigzagging, right? That's just kind of where we're at, right? They had a loss against Boston. They had a win against Indiana, a blowout win, then a loss against Cleveland. So I think they follow this one up with a win, and they get the job done here with being a short money line price on the road against the Miami Heat. Okay. I don't really like the Heat as well. So this is kind of like the better of the two evils. And I think that right now that is the New York Knicks. Okay. So we are going to be taking the Knicks, probably my best bet of the night in terms of a side or a total. All right. Orlando and Chicago. For me, guys, I would be on Orlando -5. I like Orlando money line in this game. If you are going to find a dance partner, mix the Magic with another favorite around that -150 to -200 odd line. That's it sets up for a nice two-leg parlay. That's a avenue that I would look down for this game. But for me, there will be no bet outside of doing that on the money line for the Magic. Okay. Nets in Memphis. This is another game where I do like the underdog here a little bit. All right, plus 11.5 would be the side that I would in this spot. Memphis, a little bit of fool's gold so far. I think the hype and steam with the Memphis Grizzlies by the numbers is a little bit too high right now at this current moment in time. So I'm going to be, if I was going to be playing this game, I would be on the side of the Brooklyn Nets, and the betting splits kind of back me up a little bit. All right, you do see the money line. There's 38%. Anytime you get kind of a huge value such as 5-1 or greater, there are going to be a lot more of the money line bets because the way that works is there's not a lot of money line bets on a heavy favorite because it's a losing proposition over time. So that's why you see a bigger percentage of the money is going to be on Brooklyn, just because there may be more bets on Memphis, but you're not going to have a lot of handle on that. So, but that would be where I'm at. I do like the Brooklyn Nets plus 11.5 in this spot. Okay. San Antonio and Oklahoma City. That is a game where I'm going to have to look into in terms of the number here and the total. All right, this is where I would attack this game. We do get a sizable kind of matchup here. This is probably the better game of the later slate. Oklahoma City. A lot of people already gave them the World Championship trophy there for the NBA season. I'm not there yet. 3-0, 3-0. They do look really good, but they are going to have some issues here. Hartenstein remains out. Jalen Williams remains out. And we do get a spurless Devin Vassell. Okay, so without, and also Trey Jones is going to be out as well. And Wembanyama plays some defense. Now, this is going to be a very important game because I want to kind of dive into these recent matchups, and to do so, we're going to have to pull it up this way. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so in their head-to-heads going back in this Western Conference matchup, we have seen results where we have went 220. We went 2-2 in terms of going over the 221.5. But in all of these games, the over/under has been set at 231, 238.5, 241, 238.5. And I believe Wembanyama played in all of those spots. Now, in those matchups, it either went way over or it went way under. Okay. So this is kind of an area where I'm going to look to attack this game in terms of taking the total in the spot. So give me the Oklahoma City. And it's important to understand when these games were played in San Antonio, that's when we saw the big numbers in terms of performance. So Oklahoma City, maybe a little bit better defense at home. And that's kind of what we're looking at right now, as this game will be played in Oklahoma City. But I'm looking to buck that trend. I'm going to be on the side of the over. I think that's where right now we get some value. You see this number bought down from 224.5 all the way down to 221.5. I could see it really going either way, but personally, I think that the movement that we need to look at is the kind of going against the popular opinion here. I think that we get over this total of 221 now, and I'm going to wait and see this number drops even more. But for me, guys, this is a bet where I'm going to be on the over in Oklahoma City, San Antonio. Call it what you want. I just think that there's a little bit of a number. Error in judgment when it's coming to the number. Could be wrong, but I think that Oklahoma City offensively is going to show out. And I think that on the other end, when we do look at the San Antonio defense, they're not all cracked up outside of just getting blocks. I don't think they're all as cracked up as it looks. So we'll see. I still need to get Jalen Williams back for the Thunder for some more offense, but Spurs games have went kind of under historically in Oklahoma City games. This season they have been under as well. So looking for these teams to kind of break out, and let's go over that lower total of 220, 221, whatever you get at, a little closer to tip off. Okay, so that's where I'll be at for that game. And let's get back into it as we look at the remaining games that we'll have on the schedule. New Orleans and Golden State. This is a play where I'm going to be on the over as well. 219.5. I do like the over in this spot. And if anything, it would be a bet on the Golden State Warriors -3. However, I just like the total a little bit more. And as always, you're going to have potential for overtime. We'll look into the lineup here because this is something that does make sense to me. Okay, you do get Curry out for this game, Melton and Wiggins. Okay, out. We'll see what happens. And also the bigger storyline here is the Pelicans going into Golden State. Seems like a little fishy number, don't you think? Why is the Golden State Warriors still a -3 favorite going against this Pelicans team? Quite frankly, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense. So we'll see what happens. And see how that one goes. But for me, guys, it's a fishy spot. If anything, I take the home team with a short number, but my better bet would be for the over 219.5. Okay. So that about wraps it up. We did talk about the last game, the Blazers and the Clippers. We're going to be on that Jacob Podol, the prop bet with there that lies within. So the three props, just to do a little quick recap that we will be on. We're going to be on the Jarrett Allen over 24.5 points. And rebounds. Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points as well. Also, the Jacob Podol, we're going to go over 10.5 rebounds. I think it's a bad number here. If you look into kind of where Podol is going to be, Podol for the Toronto Raptors. Excuse me. That is one of the best bets I have as well. I forgot to mention for that Charlotte game. I'll pull it back up on the screen just so you guys are aware. Okay, so this is where we're going to look into Podol. We're going to go over that 10.5, and the reason why we're going to hit that, you're going to be probably asking me what am I doing? He's 9, 10, 7, 2, 9, 9, and 10, and this is only hit at 30% clip. Well, these 19, 14, and 13 games, there's a reason why it did hit, and if we go into it, you can see kind of what I'm alluding to as we look at the Charlotte-Toronto game. Scotty Barnes and Kelly Olynyk are both going to be out, so that leaves a lot of boards for that center. He's going to have to play more minutes as they take on the Charlotte Hornets. And also for the Hornets, they are going to be out some big men as well. So I think he's going to clean up the glass, and that's why I like him to be more involved in the offense. So give me Jacob Podol over the 10.5 points. 10.5 rebounds in this matchup. Okay. That's where I'm at. Those are my best bets. And just to conclude kind of the breakdown of what we have going on with the sides, I do like the over within the Pelicans game, 219.5. That will be one of my best bets, as well as we did have a little play with the New York Knicks. That's probably going to be my favorite bet. Couple leans were on the Boston Celtics and the Cavaliers, taking them, laying the points, -7.5 for the Celtics, -5 for the Cavaliers. Not in love with those, but those are leans, like I said. And also, I want to go over in that San Antonio, Oklahoma City game, 221.5. If that number drops a little bit more, 221, We'll see what happens. Not a lot of value there, but I do want to see if that number drops because I think it has maybe a little bit too much of a move where I do think that we have some historical data to back up the move to the over with the San Antonio, Oklahoma City game. So those are my best bets. Good luck with your picks. We'll see you guys all in the next video, and we'll have the hockey and as well as a little breakdown for Major League Baseball up on the channel later on in this evening and afternoon. So appreciate you guys. Good luck.